And I just want to point out that even before I started dieting, I wasn't the type of person like you see on the news and whatever, you know, the usual fat person that eats, you know, a loaf of bread, half a pig, and 12 pounds of butter for breakfast, and then like 20 minutes later then has to have a snack. I barely ate one meal a day, maybe two if I was lucky. I'm not going to say I didn't eat the wrong things, because, you know, of course I did. I comfort it and everything. But I lost all my weight without a stitch of exercise. And the way I was able to do that was to just look at what I was eating, right? And then just change the way it was cooked. Believe it or not, I can wake up in the morning and have a full English breakfast if I wanted to. 2 eggs, a couple of rashers of bacon, a couple of sausages, hash browns, baked beans, mushrooms, tomatoes, and I can eat all of that, right? And I'm still losing weight. And it's all because it's cooked without the fat, without the oil. It's kind of amazing the little things that you have to give up. I gave up sugar. I don't no longer eat sugar, but I like sweet stuff. So what I did is I now buy fresh honey, and I have a quarter of a teaspoon of honey in my coffee now, and I love it. It was all the little things that I give up that made all of the difference. And trust me, throughout my life, I've been on every single diet you could think of, from the Cambridge diet to the Slim Fast diet to starvation diet. I was actually put into hospital once through starvation. A fat man in hospital through starvation. Who would have thought it, right? Well done, babes. Off to get Jazz. Oh yeah, no worries. All right then. Mummy Bear, by the way, is my wife. Nugster, how you doing? All right, darling. Drive safe. Yeah, so that's basically my life story, pretty much. Whether you wanted to hear it or not. I don't understand why it's done that. It's giving me a 3 right by a 3. Oh no, it's not actually. It was a different colour, different yellow. But yeah, I'm just an average guy. I've got my problems the same as everybody else in the world. I don't get to go out and socialise with people. I don't get to go to the pub. I don't get to go out on holiday and stuff, you know. So I find my social interaction with everybody else on here. And when you guys come in and hi and bye, Mummy Bear. Yeah. So when I come in here and I turn around and say, you know, I can't be affiliated because of the government pension or whatever you call it. I can't be. So, and I literally just do this for company and for fun and to meet people. I've been very lucky in my life. I've always been funny. I've always been, you know, the quick-witted, very quick-witted. Not bad for somebody who's literally half-wit, but I heard you talk about an accident, but maybe I missed the stream, or maybe you haven't said this. I was wondering what happened. Okay, so about 28 years ago, I was a manager of a tire and exhaust centre, and they decided in their infinite wisdom that they didn't want me working for them anymore. So they demoted me to an assistant manager and put me in another store, right? And I heard from a friend of mine that they were told to make me work as much as possible to get me to quit, right? So I didn't want to quit my job. I've always worked, and ever since a really young age. Anyway, cut a long story short, I was changing a lorry wheel. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever changed a lorry wheel. Usually you use a commercial air gun, and that's what you're meant to do. But the commercial air gun was broken, right? So for those of you who've never taken a lorry wheel nut off, you know, sometimes when you crack a nut on a car wheel that's really, really tight, ain't budging anywhere, then all of a sudden it just goes like it's got no friction whatsoever, right? That's basically what happened. So the apprentice grabbed a 6-foot bar. Well, I love it here. It makes me feel calm and safe. Oh, Colts, thank you so much. That's such an amazing compliment. Thank you. So the apprentice, he grabbed a 6-foot scaffold pole, right, and then he attached it to a commercial wheel brace on the lorry, and it was raining, just starting to spit with rain. But I didn't know that the apprentice had multi-purpose grease on his hands. So of course I was the biggest one there, and it was like, oh yeah, just jump on the top of that and we'll crack the nut. And then I jumped on it, and as I landed back down again, the multi-purpose grease is just like ice, so slippery, and I slipped off of it and fell straight down on my bum, on my coccyx. I damaged my spine, I damaged my coccyx. I was in hospital, all kinds of stuff. I never felt pain like it. And yeah, I think I was about, I don't even know how old I was now. Must have been around 19 or 20. And then, yeah, that was it. I got kind of told that I could have an operation to relieve the pain and stuff. But there was more than a 60-70% chance that I wouldn't be able to walk again. And I would probably lose my feeling from the waist down. Not something a 19, 20-year-old bloke wants to hear, right? Fortunately, I'd already had my son when I was 16. So, but yeah, I decided to not do that because, well, let's just say all the blokes out there probably know why I don't want to do that. That apprentice might shit himself. Shit for you, of course, but poor lads, sorry for the quote. No, you're absolutely fine. It wasn't his fault. The fault actually laid with the company because the commercial air gun is meant to be on hand all the time, and if it's not, you're not really allowed to do it. So yeah, I had a bit of a court case battle with that. Unfortunately, at the time, I literally had to take whatever I could get, and yeah, let me just say this much: it wasn't enough. It's 28 years later, and I'm you know, addicted to morphine basically because I take it so often. And yeah, but I will say this much: don't let me just finish my coffee off here. Don't anybody feel sorry for me, and I tell you for why, right? I have been, and I've said this loads of times, I am unlucky in health. Hey Pegley, how you doing? I am unlucky in health, right? But on the other side of the coin, I am incredibly lucky in love. I have a beautiful wife that I absolutely adore. I have amazing children who literally are my world, right? But I also have some of the best ever grandchildren I could ever wish to have, who love me and I love them more than my own life. Honestly, if anything happened to one of those children and they said they needed a heart transplant or a kidney or a liver or whatever it is, I would be the first one in line. I can't begin to tell you how much I love my grandchildren. That's why I'm doing these paintings for them, because, you know, not getting all maudlin or on a miserable subject, right? You don't know when the clock's about to strike your last second. Supplies! Cone. Oh, what's this? Family's everything. Oh, you're so low. Thank you. I mean, my wife would disagree. I'm a bit of a twat, but you know, family's everything. I mean, I was going to say she's got some staying power to put up with your dad jokes. Yeah, that's true. And now I've completely lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was just saying. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we never know when the last second's gonna strike on the clock, right? And of course, I could go out and I could buy something for my grandchildren, and I do, right? But I suddenly got this thought one day, like with the beauty of YouTube, right? With the fact that they keep the videos for years and years, that I love doing paint by numbers. So I decided to paint them each a painting which was specific to them because they got to choose it, right? and then I sign it and date it on the back, and then hopefully they'll appreciate it, for the rest of their lives. But more importantly, when they have kids, and they will, right? Um, like Ancestry and all these places where you can look up your ancestors and stuff. How nice is it going to be to turn around and say, "Oh, my granddad did that. Oh, what was he like? Do you know what? I'll show you." And then they got this to come back on. I love. What's this? Exactly. I love watching our YouTube vids back for the memories. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's kind of what spurred me on to do it. And also, I get to. I've done a few of these paint by numbers now, and I do hang them up in my house because there's nothing nicer than actually looking at art that you've done yourself. I unfortunately I have no artistic flair whatsoever. I could barely draw a stick man, but I have a steady hand, and I have a lot of time on my hands, and I have a lot of patience. And also, I found that painting by numbers is incredibly good for anxiety and depression. Like, extremely good, because when I'm doing this, I'm not thinking or doing anything else. Kids were so damn cute. My grandchildren, whenever they come here, they always like to try and get upstairs and get on camera. There's a couple of videos. I really should mark them down. Really, there's a couple of videos where you'll actually see them, and they are my absolute world. It's funny, but whenever I've gone and had my teeth done, because I'm terrified of the dentist, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I really am. I'm 6'2", and I'm built like a brick house, right? And I will literally be that guy that's blubbering in the dentist chair. I can't stand them, I really can't. But whenever I have something that I don't like, having done blood tests and whatever else, I honestly close my eyes and just sit and think about my grandkids. That probably sounds a bit sappy to some people, but it's true, I do. Kids, they still are a bunch of sweethearts. Never met anybody who has kids as polite and as kind as shit. Wow! That's such a nice thing to say. That really is a nice thing to say to somebody. My buddy, I know exactly what you mean about family and never know when the last moments will be. Not sure if you know, our youngest daughter was diagnosed with a terminal illness at age 6 months, and she died 12 days later. Oh, mate. What do you say? And then do you know what? This is what pisses me off the most, right? You still get up in that bed. You still do everything you do, and you still carry it, and your family is amazing. I don't know who that girl was that was on there. She was beautiful, for number one, and what a lovely person. And you are. And mate, I had a lot of respect for you beforehand, and that's just gone through the roof now. And this from somebody who didn't know you back then or whatever else. I am so sorry that you've had to go through that. No one should go through that. That's terrible. And the fact that you carry on every day is just an absolute beacon to anybody else that's going through troubles. That was Casey. Oh, Casey, she's beautiful. Honestly, absolutely gorgeous. Do you see what I mean when I said earlier on that there are people out there in the world that are worse off than you, and you have to be grateful for every day, because some people don't get to have that day. I can imagine she does, and hopefully she's going to have a fantastic life. Some people, I'm not taking anything away from anybody with problems. When you get a problem in life, to you that's the most important problem in the world, because it's affecting you, and you're well within your rights to get down about it, get fed up over it, even get angry over it. but just don't let it consume you, because there are people out there that have lost far much more. And perspective is a really nice and good tool to use. Wow. I think it's your granddaughter I've seen pop in every now and then again, and your face lights up each time, even more than when you see me. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, my face does light up when I see you, you know, obviously. It's kind of weird because, like, somebody said to me, like, oh, you should put a camera on so that people can actually see you while you paint them. And all you're going to see is the top of my head, because I'm constantly like, hunched over to paint. So it's like a waste of time. But no, I appreciate, she's lovely, and she doesn't, all she wants to do is get on camera. And she's old enough now where she doesn't really get shy anymore. She, like, you know, wants to steal the limelight. Casey's living the life of both, I guess. Yeah, exactly. That's just, it's, wow. It's honestly, like, that's really, it's not made me upset. It's just made me, and this is going to sound weird from a guy that only met you all the other day, it's just made me admire you a lot more. You know, not that you say any of that to get anybody's kind of attention or to provoke a feeling or whatever else. That's got to be really bad. Not really bad, it's got to be really difficult to admit and actually to say to people on stream and stuff. But, you know, hat off to you, because I'll be honest, me personally, I don't know how I could go on, you know. Yeah, but at least when you see the top of your head, we won't get blinded as if it was a chunky one. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm lucky enough to still have hair. I will say this much: she is thinning a little bit. It's like there's an argument going on up there. It's like there's a follicle war going on. And as much as I'd love to say that the follicles are winning, they're really not. And I'm not really happy with the way things are going. And I can't really intervene. It's not a lot I can do. But it just helps that I'm stunningly good looking and gorgeous to look at. So I'm sure that will balance things out. Not at all. No attention grabbing, just chatting openly, that's all. Yeah, exactly. You are, no, and I get that, and I would never think otherwise. It's just yeah, like, that's, it's literally just stopped me in my tracks hearing that, to be honest with you. It's I even though I'm trying not to, I'm sitting here just trying to empathize, and I just can't, because. But look at you now, and you know, like when I see people and they've had something bad happen in their life, and then all of a sudden they're just going out and they're ruining everybody else's life. You know, you just go to show that bad things can happen to good people, and it still won't change them. And you need a pat on the back for that, 100%. We've been through some awful times for sure, but there's a lot of, yeah, exactly. How can you say that? Even now, like, you know, you're right. There are others out there, and I get you completely. But to be able to say that from your particular situation is just amazing. It's your kind of situations and stuff that make me not sit and wallow in my own problems, you know. Yeah, I broke my back. Well, you know, boo-hoo. Get on with it. You know, you're suffering with panic attacks and stuff. All right, that was a little bit harder to deal with, but I'm still here, still going. And it's so easy to give up. And you just got to keep on fighting, because there's got to be light at the end of a tunnel. I don't believe that anything cannot be there, you know. I miss her every day, but you have to find a way to live through it. It's really easy to give up. Can I ask a question? Whenever I've done paint by numbers, I always start at the top left corner and work down. So my hand rests on the canvas. What makes you go from the bottom to the top? I'd be scared to smudge it. Honestly, I smudge it all the time. I put my hand in it all the time. So, how can I explain this? So I realized very quickly in my life, right, that every bone is connected. So when I put my arm up here, as you can probably hear, right, having my hand extended, even though I've got it resting up here, pulls on my back. It hurts my back. So I've only just got this easel, right? I only got it, my wife got it for me the other day. So what I'm hoping to be able to do is do this. So that way then the weight of my arm is actually resting on here, and then I can carry on. But ever since I've been painting by numbers, I've always started from the bottom and worked my way up, or got halfway and then turned it around and then gone from the bottom up again. You know what I mean? But I'm trying with this one. I'm going to leave it in this orientation, because the other thing I want to do is that I realise that not a lot of people want to sit and actually watch a paint by numbers get done in real time, right? A lot of people seem to like to watch them in time lapse, and I actually learned 2-3 days ago how to time lapse a video. So I'm trying to keep this particular painting in this orientation, and then once I've actually finished it and signed it and everything else, I'm going to do a time lapse of the entire thing with some appropriate music on it, you know. And then hopefully people will like to watch that with a bit of, I don't know. I do whatever I do whatever I can, whatever I feel like doing, you know. And it just seemed to me that I've watched other people doing paint by numbers, and there's not really that many people out there that do what I do. I love to come in and have a natter while I'm doing it. You'll probably see from some of my other videos that I will literally sit here and talk like this if I'm completely on my own. It's a little sad to admit, but it is true. I have the inability of shutting up. But like I've always turned around and said, I always think about people that are going to watch the VODs afterwards. You know, where's the fun in just watching somebody painting and then not talking or trying to interact at all? And then, of course, also talking to you guys while I'm doing this is actually making this go faster for me. And I'm going to do it anyway, so why not have a bit of company? Oh my God, are you still talking? There you go, Dark Raiden. How you doing, darling? Right, shout out time, I think. Let's where's me button gone? We'll do that one, 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 and that one. Do you know, everyone's getting a shout out. Please feel free to scroll up and just follow anybody that's on that list. They're all definitely worth, at the very least, a look. And then from there, make your mind up as to whether or not you feel like you want to follow. Remember, the following is free. It doesn't cost you anything. But to us, small and large content creators, it means a lot to us. It means that we're not just sat here for no reason, and we're at least appreciated. That's not just for me, but that's for all content creators. You're more than welcome, honestly. What little I can do, I don't mind doing. I just wish that bigger streamers would do the same thing as us. Because, you know, I feel like it's exposure. It's like, I don't mind people. I've got self-promote in my Discord. And for anybody that's interested, I still haven't sorted this out. There's all of my social things. I don't bloody understand it, or it was a button that somebody else did for me. But you know, that's all my social stuff. If anyone's interested, I've got a self-promote thing in my Discord as well, because I think that we should all help each other out. And the way I look at it is that if I've got followers that I've got in here, and they've been watching me for a while, and then all of a sudden they go over and they see somebody else that's been promoted in my channel, right? And then they decide to go and watch them. Well, does that mean that I've lost them? No, it doesn't. It just means at that point they've decided to watch somebody else for a bit. There's plenty of people in this world. There's more than enough viewers to go around for everybody. It's not a competition. You don't have to close your borders up because you're trying to protect your community and keep them. Your community's there because they like you and they want to be there to watch you, no matter what you do. And as soon as you start treating them as a commodity or as a way to get money or whatever else, at that point, as far as I'm concerned, you've lost. So that's why I've never tried to cover anybody that I've got. I was literally just joining your Discord as you mentioned it. Oh, thank you so much. My Discord has gone a little quiet as of late because, it's, as I'm sure most of you know that have got Discords and stuff, it's a hard job to try and keep conversations going, and it's even harder when you're not feeling very well. I do have a bunch of awesome people in my Discord, some people that I consider and that are friends now. I agree. Sorry I'm making late lunch, but thanks for the shout out. You're more than welcome, buddy, honestly. And don't anybody feel like, that you kind of have to stay here. If you come in and just lurk, or if you just come in to say hi and then you go afterwards, I'm just happy that I was a thought in your head at one point and made you to come in and say hello. I expect nothing from anybody. I want nothing from anybody. If I'm entertaining to you, then that's great. If you come back and we sit and have a chat one day and I don't see you for a couple of weeks, that's fantastic. I've got no issue with that. All I ask is that, you at least give me a chance to see whether or not you like me or not. And this is one of my biggest problems with the way that they work Twitch and YouTube and stuff, because you just don't get the exposure. But what are you going to do? Such a good attitude to have. Yeah, honestly, the thing is, and this is God's too honest truth, right? By the way, I'm not a religious person. I just constantly say that because my nan said it all the time. I will be quite content being in here completely on my own. I mean, when I say content, it's not like I'd prefer it that way, because I wouldn't. I'd love to be sitting here chatting with people. I like the company. But I'm doing these paint by numbers and stuff, like for my grandkids and for people that actually like watching them, because I'm one of those people, believe it or not. And I don't consider it like my YouTube videos and stuff. They get a certain amount of views and whatever, and a couple of likes. And I get my friends turning around saying to me, "Oh, why'd you bother? You've only got this many." I don't care how many I've got. I didn't do it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me. This to me is my hobby. And I would like to put in some effort into my hobby to see where it would go or doesn't go. Who wants to pick up a hobby and be bad at it? I don't understand that. Maybe that's just me, but, I think we can all agree that I'm a bit strange. So, Emma, when you stream again? Yeah, but you haven't streamed for a while, have you? I was listening to that the other night. You haven't streamed for a while. When are we going to get you back on there then? Because I can guarantee you, you'll get at least one person, because I'll be there. She did for 18 seconds. Wow. I tell you what we could do. We could say if she doesn't stream, Carl has to do a hot tub stream. How about that? And he has to have the inflatable banana. I get people come back and are like, "Wait, you're not mad I wasn't here for a few months?" I get, "Really?" And I say, "Of course not. If you're here all the time or once a year, I will welcome you in with open arms every time." But people are so grateful that you even remember them when they treat you no differently, and your VIPs and other members of chat that means the world to both streamers and chat alike. At least that's the way I see it. I couldn't agree with you more. Honestly, one of the worst things that I have because of like being constantly tired and not sleeping very well, my memory gets really bad. So I'll meet people and I'll say hello and whatever else, and they'll come back in and I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I don't mean any disrespect by it. I don't remember. Like I'm really sorry. And then all of a sudden they'll start talking, and then it'll be like, oh bloody yeah, I remember you now, and because it's not a conscious thing. But yeah,